Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in, and hello to everybody new. This week I covered Buena Vista Social Club's version of Pueblo Nuevo, originally composed by Israel Cachao Lopez. This project came with interesting challenges. First off, Ruben Gonzalez, who plays piano on the recording, was in his prime in terms of expression and dexterity, even at the age of 77 when the recording was made. He is so light-hearted and fluid as he executes these nimble chromatic passages. The reason I've been obsessed with this piece and why I chose Ruben's recording is the gentleness with which he executes these passages. About half the runs fit really well on the violin, and the other half are a roller coaster in shifting and range exercises. Getting the notes themselves was made easier with pre-existing sheet music, but getting the lines to sound organic and lighthearted was a whole different experience. On the engineering aspect, the other thing I loved about the recording was the sound of the room. In the original sessions, many of the musicians had never overdubbed, and supposedly, according to engineer Jerry Boyes, some of them had never even worn headphones. Because of this, their only choice was to record everybody in the same room at the same time. Recreating this natural ambience without all the musicians present is tricky, and I wanted to do so with mic technique as much as possible. If it sounds to you like I stuck a microphone in the middle of a musty, crowded room, then I've achieved my goal. To accomplish this, for each instrument, I had one microphone up close, like so. Hello. And then I had a second microphone further out. When I wanted a part to sound further, such as the makeshift cowbell or the upright bass, I increased the level of the distance mic and decreased the level of the close mic. Furthermore, I sent all of the distance mics into the Valhalla Room Reverb plugin, which exploited the ambience just a little more. Every week with these projects, I begin to reach a settling point. There's always this final push where I try to perfect as much as possible before time runs out. This push consistently takes my projects to almost there to, dang, I think this is going to work. At one point with this project, I was ready to be done, and I had bounced a master file, and upon listening, I decided I wanted to make one tiny adjustment. This led to a dozen minute adjustments in the last 45 minutes of the night, going back and forth between finished and adding last minute touches that eventually took the project into the end zone, and I was very satisfied. Just as an example, my final adjustments were EQ the violin, pan the guitar more to the right, violin softer, guitar louder, overall EQ adjustment, add a touch of reverb to the overall mix, reduce overall bass, and keep the experimental vinyl simulator that I had tested during mastering. I'm going to show you a quick comparison of the mix before and after mastering, and then with the vinyl simulator. It wasn't a perfect rendition, but I'm so happy I finally dove into this piece, and now I can play these licks that I've been obsessed with for years. On to this week's challenge of reversed sounds. A composer/producer friend, Justin, was giving me some supportive critiques on my project so far. A few years back, he brought me in to record some strings, and has always been audibly supportive of me developing my songwriting and singing. It was great to hear his opinions coming from somebody with a marvelous resume of original advertisement music. At the end of our conversation, he dropped the challenge of a piece comprised solely of reversed sounds with the allowance for normal drums. I'm happy to abide, and I think I might be able to enlist the help of a special guest drummer. My intentions right now, first, are to keep the song from being too nauseated, and second, to dive into a few creative recording techniques, such as learning how to play or sing an already reversed line, so that I can then reverse it again for weird affected forwards sound. It's confusing, but if it goes well, it should have a neat effect. We'll see. Thank you for tuning in. As patrons, you can download the song files below, and as always, try out the Patreon app. You all are a great audience to create for, and I appreciate your presence very much. Catch you later this week.